your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you've negotiated is the deal you've negotiated, and that's the ball.
No, this is kind of worse than I thought. Well, he basically got to take this plea to tail on Melly. Oh, man. Yeah, I think he bit the cheese. Clock in. Black Gotta just walked in. Team Black Gotta stand up, man. Yo. All right, y'all, we back with another video with YNW Bortlen. All right, look, I would be completely capping to y'all if I was to tell y'all I'm not already hearing the story surrounding this trial date that we was waiting for. As much as I thought Bortlen wouldn't be the one to actually fold in this situation, and I actually had a feeling he was gonna take this situation all the way to trial, especially being the fact there's not too much evidence against him in particular. And the reason that they even gave him this plea is to ultimately get YNW Melly. That's the only reason this plea even came about. That's the only reason this plea would make any sense. Bro is dodging a whole life sentence for 2 bodies to serve around 16 years. And in all reality, when you put all the credit and everything, this man will be out in less than 10. So it's like, for them to do that just shows me how bad they want Melly. And I didn't think he would go for it, but I'm hearing he went for it. So without further ado, let's just watch this video. I think this one's finna be kind of shocking.
This is on the top of my page 5, State versus Cortland Henry, 19-1871 CF10A and 23-10643 CF10A. I've got Ms. Collins, Mr. Griffiths present for the state. I've got Mr. Haddad, Mr. Nascimento present for Mr. Henry, who likewise is present. So I had set this afternoon for the deadline as to whether or not Mr. Henry wanted to accept the state's offer or not. We were set to go with jury selection tomorrow morning. So Mr. Haddad or Mr. Nascimento, we're going forward with a change of plea this afternoon? And state, is it the same terms that you discussed previously? Is there anything different?
No, Your Honor, that has changed. It's correctly reflected on the plea forms.
So the pre-forms to me look like on the 19 case as to the 2 counts of accessory after the fact, as well as to all 4 counts in the 23 case. These are going to be adjudications, 10 years Florida State Prison, followed by, that's a 6 years probation?
That's correct, Your Honor.
6 years probation. All counts will run concurrently, all sentences run concurrently with one another. It looks like there's no restitution in the 23 case. In the 19 case, I'm reserving restitution and ordering it payable. That's going to be to Terry Bagley as well as Ashley Phillips.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we now have to
We've spoken to them and they don't anticipate there being any restitution, just because it's caution.
Hold up, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but the deal sounded a little bit kind of different from the last original deal we heard. Because the original deal we heard, it was 16 years. Now I'm hearing 6 years probation. Boy, that boy Bortlen might be home in less than 5 if he take this plea.
Okay, so I'll give you 120 days to tell me an amount. There's
Yes,
no
Your Honor.
amount, won't be restitution.
They are present as well, too, so our victim advocate has informed them that
Okay.
there's any restitution, they would let us know.
Okay.
As of today, they said there is none.
All right, and state, is that the complete terms? That's it?
He's also going to be giving it to Crawford, Your Honor, at a later time.
Well, is that part of the negotiated
Yes, Your Honor.
resolution?
It is.
So tell me how that works. Sure. Sure, come on up. Madam Clerk, Board of Business now on. Ask you something you don't understand, please let me know. I'll try to ask you a better question, okay? As loud as you can so the court reporter can get down all the answers, okay? Raise your right hand for me. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? You can put your hand down. Please state your full name. How old are you? How far did you go in school? Do you read and understand the English language? Are you presently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol? Have you ever been treated for a mental illness? Are they giving you any medication in the jail right now? How are you feeling this afternoon? Your head is clear? You understand what's going on this afternoon? You understand you're resolving 2 pending felony cases this afternoon? Mr. Haddad or Mr. Nascimento, have you seen or heard Mr. Henry say or do anything which would call into question in your mind whether he understands what's going on.
Nothing at all. No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Henry, it's two cases, sir. I'm going to go one at a time. In case number 19-1871 CF10A, this is before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state. You were charged as follows. Counts 1 and 2 is murder in the first degree with a firearm. Those are capital offenses. The maximum and mandatory penalty is life in Florida State prisons. Counts 3 and 4 are accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. Those are each first degree felonies. The maximum penalty is 30 years in Florida State prison. In case number 23-10643 CF10A, you're charged at count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. That is punishable by life in Florida State prison. Count 2, directing the activities of a criminal gang. That's a first degree felony. Again, punishable up to life in Florida State prison. Count 5 is conspiracy to commit tampering. Again, as it relates to a first degree murder charge, that is punishable by a maximum penalty of life in Florida State prison. At count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. As charged, that's a second degree felony. The maximum penalty is 15 years in Florida State prison. So, sir, again, before the agreement you made with the state, before the deal you made with the state, your maximum exposure here was life in Florida State prison, followed by 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 75 years in Florida State prison. Sir, do you understand all the pending charges and the maximum possible penalties involved? And it's my understanding that you want to resolve both cases today. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that resolution is an agreement you've reached with the state, the terms of which are as follows. Number 1, in the 19 case, you're going to plead no contest to both counts of accessory after the fact. In the 23 case, you're going to plead no contest to all 4 counts as charged. In exchange for that, the state is going to null process, that is, drop the 2 first degree murder counts. All right, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. Yes, sir.
He's not pleading guilty to count 2 of the newer case, the criminal.
What's happening with that?
That would be no problem.
So he's only going to plead to the tampering with a witness in a capital felony, conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device?
Just the tampering and the unlawful use.
Just count 1 and count 7.
Correct.
State, you're going to null process count 2 and count 5,
Correct, Your Honor.
as it relates only to Mr. Henry.
Correct.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, what it's going to be is 2 counts of accessory after the fact, tampering with a witness in a capital felony, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In exchange for that, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. In the unlawful use of a two-way communication device, that's a second degree felony. The maximum
It's a
exposure.
third degree, Your Honor.
Hold up, I gotta hear that again. Hold up.
Guilty on the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count. I'm going to sentence you to 10 years in Florida State prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. In the unlawful use of a two-way communication device, that's a second degree felony. The maximum exposure.
It's a third degree, Your Honor.
It's a second as charged, I believe. It's a third except as it relates to a capital case, but I'm happy to
Our
look it up.
state has it as a third, that's what we discussed, so. I
Well,
don't
what
have
did you
it.
want the negotiated sentence to be for that?
That was just going to be the maximum of time served.
5 years? Is that what you want me to do?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so, sir, as to that count, it's going to be an adjudication of 5 years in Florida State prison. So the 2 accessory counts as well as the tampering count, those come with 6 years of reporting probation after the Department of Corrections sentence. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've served in both cases. All of those counts will run concurrently. All those sentences will run concurrently. All counts in all cases, that is at the same time with each other. I'm going to have to impose mandatory court costs. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reservists to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, The state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you've negotiated is the deal you've negotiated, and that's the ballgame.
No, this is kind of worse than I thought. But he basically got to take this plea to tail on Melly. Oh, man. Yeah, I think he bit the cheese.
Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that? They've answered all your questions? You're sure that that's what you want to do? Because I want to emphasize, Mr. Henry, and I'm going to do this again at the end of my plea colloquy, whether you resolve the case by way of a negotiated plea or an open plea to me, or you resolve the case by way of a trial, it doesn't matter to me at all. But due to the resources that have been devoted to this case, I have 250 jurors summoned for jury duty starting tomorrow. So I want to be very thorough with you here this afternoon, because if you wake up tomorrow or the next day and you decide you've changed your mind and you want to resolve this case, both cases, by way of a jury trial, that's not going to happen. All right? If you want to have a trial, the trial starts tomorrow. If you want to accept the deal, you can accept the deal today. But there's not going to be any buyer's remorse, in other words, because I've given you plenty of time to think about this, talk to your lawyers about it, talk to your family about it. I talked to you about it last week. Kind of looks like your lawyers probably did something or other to get a better disposition for you as of this afternoon. But this is it today. So understanding all that, you've had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that. That's what you want to do. So,
Dang, I could just see the nervousness in Bortlen's face while he's accepting this plea. And due to the fact he waited until last minute to take the plea deal, which is today. Today was the last day he could have took the plea deal. Other than that, tomorrow would officially be the start of trial. So the fact that he was extremely hesitant kind of lets me know why the judge had to put emphasis on, bro, this your last chance. This all you got. It's either you tell or you bail. Pick one. Because after today, you can't take this back.
has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you into entering these pleas? If I accept your pleas, there will not be a trial in either one of these cases. Do you understand that? If I accept these pleas, there's a whole bunch of constitutional rights you are giving up. I want to make sure you understand all of those rights. You have the right to maintain your plea of not guilty and have a trial in each case. You have the right to present defenses, to file motions and other pleadings in support of your defense. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have the state prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you. You have the right to appeal any decisions that I may have made up to this point or any rulings I might make in a future trial. But understanding by entering this negotiated resolution today, you are giving up all of those rights. The matter is going to be resolved today, right now, this afternoon. Is that what you want to do? Are you satisfied with your lawyers? Have you had enough time to speak with them? Have they answered all your questions? Are you satisfied with all the work that they have done for you? Sir, I've got two identical plea forms here entitled Plea of Guilty or No Contest to Criminal Charges in Circuit Court. Each one has your name on the top, your initials on the left-hand side, front and back, and your signature on the back. Did you go over both of these forms? Any questions about what's on either of these forms? And is that your signature on the back of each form? Sir, there's a few things that I need to tell everyone that I take a plea from. They may or may not apply to you. If you are not a citizen of the United States, these pleas will result in your deportation. Do you understand that? Under the provisions of the Jimmy Rice Act, if the offenses to which you are pleading are sexually violent or sexually motivated offenses, or if you've been previously convicted of such offenses, then these pleas will subject you to an involuntary civil commitment as a sex.
I just peeped, y'all. Bro got on Jordans back there. That boy got the J's in the joint to match the jumpsuit and all.
Sexually violent predator upon completion of your sentences. Do you understand that? If these are the drug offenses, the Department of Motor Vehicles will revoke your driver's license for a period of 1 year. Do you understand that? Sir, paragraph 11 of each form that you sign reads as follows. I acknowledge that my attorney and I have reviewed any discovery disclosed by the state. My attorney and I are unaware of any physical evidence for which DNA may exonerate me. In other words, sir, if there's any physical evidence in the case that we could test for DNA, that DNA evidence would not tell me that you were not one of the people in that vehicle. when these crimes occurred. But actually, the opposite would be true. If there was any such physical evidence that could be tested for DNA, that DNA evidence would tell me that you...
Oh, man. Look at YNW not YNW Bortlen, but look at B Slime and Melly Mom right there, watching him take the plea. Oh, this is tough.
You were one of the two people that was inside this vehicle when these crimes occurred. Sir, do you agree with that statement? State, do you agree with that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you agree with that statement? Mr. Henry, understanding everything that I have talked to you about up to this point, do you still want to go ahead and resolve both cases today, right now? Defense, is he stipulating to a factual basis for the purpose of each plea in both cases?
Yes.
And if he's entitled to a PSI, defense, are you going to waive that as to each case?
Absolutely.
State, is there anything else that you need me to do before I take his plea?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Henry, again, two cases. We're going to do one at a time. In case number 19, 1871.
Look at Melly Mama and B Slime. Though. I know they over there like, damn. Melly might be cooked. Matter of fact, ain't no might be. This is what's gonna ruin his case right here.
As to count 3, accessory after the fact to murder in the first degree. And as to count 4, accessory after the fact as to murder in the first degree. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? In case number 23, 10643 CF10A. As to count 1, tampering with a witness in a capital felony. And count 7, unlawful use of a two-way communication device. How are you going to plead, sir? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I will accept your no contest pleas as to each. I'm going to find a factual basis to support each based upon my review of each electronic probable cause affidavit as well as your stipulation in court here today. I'm going to further find that you have freely, voluntarily, and intelligently waived your rights, that you have knowingly entered each plea with the advice of competent counsel who you've told me that you are satisfied with, that you understand the nature of the charges and the consequences of the plea. Accordingly, and pursuant to the negotiated agreement, I will sentence you as follows.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives to my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
In case number 19, 1871 CF10A, as to count 3 and count 4, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in Florida State Prison. That will be followed by 6 years of reporting probation. I will impose mandatory court costs. Pursuant to 943.325, I will need a set of your prints and DNA. Pursuant to 938.27, I will impose a cost of prosecution of $100. Sir, I'm also ordering restitution in that case payable to Terry, T-E-R-R-I, Bagley, B-A-G-L-E-Y, and Ashley, A-S-H-L-E-Y, Phillips, P-H-I-L-L-I-P-S, and reserving as to the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of the restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. That will conclude that matter. In case number 23, 10643 CF10A, as to count 1 and count 7, I will adjudicate you guilty. Count 7 is a sentence of 5 years in Florida State Prison. Count 1 is a sentence of 10 years in Florida State Prison, followed by 6 years of reporting probation. I will impose mandatory court costs in that case as well. I will not impose the cost of prosecution in that case as I just did so in the previous case. Pursuant to 943.325, I will need another set of your prints and DNA. All of these, there is no restitution in that case. All of these sentences, all counts, both cases, will run concurrently, that is at the same time with each other. I will give you credit for all the time that you have served. State, in 1871 CF10A, your announcement as to counts 1 and 2.
The state will be announcing a null process to those counts, Your Honor.
And in case number 23, 10643 CF10A, state your announcement as to count 2 and count 5.
The state will be announcing a null process to those counts as well.
Okay. I think that concludes all the matters. State, is there anything else that you need me to do regarding Mr. Henry in either case?
Judge, if you just have one moment.
All right, so we heard it, bro. When it comes to Bortlen, I believe he is going to be able to see the good side of this situation. I don't know whether he was going to be able to see the good side of the situation regardless, but I know when you in spots like this, man, you really can't blame people like Bortlen who's probably been suffering. Not even probably, he's definitely been suffering for years, and he got to a point where he made a decision for himself. And ultimately, bro, that's how a lot of this stuff play out. We see these things happen day in and day out where, you know, you could be close to somebody, extremely close, to be honest. But when it gets to that point where you literally been suffering so much and you're given the opportunity to skate free, most people just taking it. They just really taking it. Now, how I feel versus reality is two different things. Yes, I felt like Bortlen was going to stay down and hold Melly down. But obviously, that's not what ended up happening. Obviously, bro took a whole completely different route, a route that I didn't even see him taking, to be honest. It's crazy. Because he's been thugging it so hard for this long, I kind of assumed he was going to go all the way through with it. But, hey, he ultimately decided to take a plea deal that's going to get him to go home. Do I feel like people who commit heinous crimes should get charged for it and should have to, you know, be held accountable? Of course. I don't know why Melly's situation feels a lot more intense, but it just does, man. But when it comes to Melly, bro, be all the way 100 with y'all, man. He low-key could be, and he's cooked. He's cooked. Now, I don't usually be all the way correct about how it plays out when people's taking their pleas, but I do be knowing how it plays out when the situation just ain't in your favor no more. And Melly slipped last trial where it ended up being a mistrial because in all reality, there wasn't that thumbtack evidence. There wasn't that evidence to literally put him on the billboard. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that strong behind evidence because the biggest things that they had was, one, Melly's girlfriend. She wasn't helping. And two, Bortlen. He completely denied the whole thing. So those was the two strongest things they had to put a nail in the coffin on Melly. And they know it. That's why I don't know why the judge is kind of confused on how they got this plea deal. I'm not even confused. That's damn near what they had to do to ultimately get Melly. Like, y'all got to get him by getting either his girlfriend to admit that he did text her like he did a crime, or two, get Bortlen to completely confess on stand about playing a part in the situation. Now, I don't care who's these super scientists out here who feel like, nah, that ain't gonna mess Melly up. Oh, this is the strongest thing that they could use. It's just reality. Now, I do want to know how y'all feel about this in the comment section below. I don't think it's too much more to say. I'm gonna see y'all when the trial starts.